Okay, first thing I want to say is I apologize I didn't upload yesterday. The reason was because I have a lot of stuff going back at home, but honestly, luckily, things are getting figured out, and well, I'm able to still keep recording. Also, on top of that, I just want to say thank you for all the love and support in the most recent videos, and trust me, I have a lot more coming, and also, not to mention, I am also streaming live on Kick, so if you guys do want to see me live telling these crazy stories, just go click the link down below, and I'll be live. Also, the channel's verified, so I'm part of the cool kids, I guess. But also, other than that, today's story is part 2 of what happened last time, so if you haven't seen part 1, I highly advise you guys go check it out. Anyways, let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So last we ended off, I basically ended up going to the dance with my middle school crush. It was the winter dance, and honestly, I was really proud of myself for getting the balls to ask her, because if you guys saw the last episode, you would know it was literally a pain to do. But today, no joke, was the day. I knew when I walked in there, obviously I had some eyes on me, especially the lacrosse kid that really hates me. By the way, what's the point of lacrosse? I really don't get the whole stick thing. Just play hockey. I can't stress this enough. Sorry, but going on, he was basically staring me down, really upset because, well, he was asking the same question I was literally the day of when she said yes to me, of why me. Obviously, I got an answer, and that's because she ended up reading my journal and read how much I actually cared about her instead of her basically growing cherries at middle school. That sounded really bad. I really should not say that. But going on, I remember basically when I was at the dance and me and her, we were basically just walking around dancing to different songs that were being blasted. And by the way, this was like really old 2010 music that I don't think any of you guys might know. Like, for example, if I said like OMG by Usher, I doubt you guys would know what song that is. But if you do, then comment down below you know it. So I know you at least have some sort of culture in you. But other than that, this was like before Juice WRLD and stuff. So obviously, you know, it was a really old school type of dance. But going on from there, I remember I went, and basically when I did, I was with her and we were just dancing, jamming out to stuff like that. But as we were jamming out though, I remember this part of every dance that I usually freak out in because I always see it in the movies. But basically it was the part where it was a slow dance. Now, I'm not good at slow dancing. I wouldn't say I'm as bad as Wednesday, you know, just going off a spree, but I will say this much, I never really actually had proper experience back when I was in middle school. So me knowing this, I didn't really know what to do. But basically, all I remember is that my middle school crush ended up walking up to me saying, oh my goodness, like, what's slow dance? And I ended up saying, okay, like, I'm down. And yeah, one thing led to another. She literally ended up putting her hands around my neck. And yeah, I mean, I was really like kind of shook because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I remember I ended up just leaving my hands on my side, swaying side to side like a penguin. It looked really weird and honestly super embarrassing. But then I remember she looked at me with her eyes wide open saying, Baba, put your hands on my side. Because apparently all her friends were watching her dance with me. So I ended up getting my hands and putting it on like her waist. And I was really shook. Like, no joke. I think this was the closest connection I ever had with my middle school crush other than us hitting knees when we were in table groups back in class. But still, I didn't know what to do. I remember basically the song I was playing was Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. And as me and her were swaying back and forth, I remember for some reason, I was looking into this girl's eyes like nonstop. Like, no joke. I wasn't blinking. I looked like I was like giving surgery. I was super weird and awkward. And I remember I literally didn't know what to do. But then she ended up coming closer to me to the point where like her like torso was hitting my torso. And I will say this much, my hormones kicked in. Yes, I ended up growing my massive eggplant out. It was super embarrassing because I didn't know what to do. But all I'm gonna say is that I literally ended up basically, how do I put this? I ended up growing a massive eggplant. Like my pants were levitating. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. And I remember she like, I think she did feel it. I'm not sure, but I think she was just like not really focused on that, which thank God, because if she did, that'd be super awkward in mid of dance. But basically, I remember I knew what was happening and I didn't want her to feel it, right? And me, my hands were on her waist, so I couldn't do the belt method where I just flick it up, so it's just, you know, getting held by my belt. So what I ended up doing was doing the only thing I could do. I remember as we were swaying back and forth and me knowing this, the chorus of the song Girl on Fire ended up happening. You know the part where it's like, this girl is on fire. Yeah, I can't sing for the life of me, but basically right at that point where she was yelling the word fire, I ended up pushing her away and ran away. Yeah, I ran away from my middle school crush mid-dance with a hard on. It was embarrassing, and I was embarrassed, okay? I was embarrassed, but I remember as I was running away because, you know, I was basically trying to sprint to the bathroom to figure out what to do and basically make it not levitate. She ended up yelling midway through me running away saying, wait, Bubba, what the hell? And she got really upset. But me, I didn't want her knowing I grew an eggplant. That's like embarrassing, right? So I remember I I ended up just basically running. And when I got to the bathroom, I remember I ended up just going to the nearest stall I could find, sitting down, and basically just sat there. I sat there, took off my pants, and I was just like yelling at my own eggplant. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but basically I just yelled at it saying, go down, stop it, go down, right now, stop. Like, I don't know. I just kept yelling at it to the point where I ended up calling my mom, and I literally told my mom what was happening. And my mom just told me to think of my grandma. And yeah, it ended up going down like after like, I want to say an hour and a half. It was super weird, and honestly it sucked, but I will say this much, since it was like one of my first very close connections with a woman, I guess like kind of just made sense. But yeah, basically from there, I remember I basically just like ended up just walking out of the bathroom after like an hour and a half. But I remember I wanted to go back to her and apologize for what happened. So I remember I basically ended up walking up to the gym doors trying to think, okay, what do I say? Just make up a quick story about it. So that's what I did. I walked up to her, but as I was walking up to her, I realized that the slow dancing was still going on, which, by the way, an hour for slow dancing in middle school is kind of crazy. But I remember I ended up trying to walk up to her, and when I was trying to walk up to her, I realized that she already had a new partner. And who would have guessed it was the lacrosse kid that literally plays lacrosse? I remember I was so annoyed, and I was like in the verge of tears, but I didn't want anyone seeing. So I remember what I decided to do instead was I literally ended up just going to the nearest concession stand that was there. I ended up taking out $1 and basically bought myself a can of Crush soda. It was orange Crush, by the way, because that was the only good flavor. No one likes grape Crush soda, and if you do, you're weird. And it basically ended up going outside my school, sitting on the park bench that was there, and basically I just sat down and just drank my soda, looking up to the stars and crying. I don't know, it kind of sucked knowing what happened, but at the same time though, like, I gotta blame my body, I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, we're all humans, right? We all do dumb things, but I don't know, this one just really hit the most. Anyways, I remember afterwards I ended up just saying, this is baloney, I'm just gonna go home, and I ended up just walking home by myself. And I remember as I was walking home, apparently all my friends were texting me to come back and that things have changed, but honestly I didn't want to believe them because it could be just a joke. But the next time I did see her at school, I will say this much, things did change, and I don't know if it was for the better or for worse, but I guess we'll save that for another story. Anyways guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing but insane stories. Peace out, guys.